In rain-shrouded Three Rivers Stadium, Pittsburgh partisans saw their Steelers go up against the upstart New England Patriots, led by their controversial coach, Chuck Fairbanks. Fairbanks has made many changes in his ball team, a club that many felt was on its way to the top. Biggest change, of course, is at quarterback, where Steve Grogan is mainly known as the man who replaced Jim Plunkett. But in the season's second game, Grogan fulfilled Fairbanks' faith in him and upset the Miami Dolphins. Today, the passer from Kansas State would go against the most famous defense in pro football history, Pittsburgh's powerful and usually invincible Steel Curtain. They're enough to frighten the most talented and experienced quarterbacks in the NFL. Another advantage Pittsburgh posed over New England was a far superior running attack, where their tandem of Rocky Blyer and the main man, Franco Harris, inevitably take control of a game. So at the outset, the Patriots' prognosis was as bleak as the weather in western Pennsylvania. Roy Girello opened the game by kicking off into the end zone. Rookie Ricky Feature headed for the right sideline, turned the corner, and went all the way to the Patriot 45. But New England couldn't take advantage of their good field position. They punted, and Pittsburgh took the ball for the first time on their own 20. Here, the Steelers began the kind of drive a coach dreams about. Terry Bradshaw used his two backs, Harris and Blyer exclusively, staying on the ground for 10 carries that averaged 6.5 yards a crack as the Pittsburgh ground game moved inexorably upfield against the Patriot defense. All through this drive, Pittsburgh was getting their customary fine blocking from the offensive line. The drive ended from the 3 when Franco, behind a trap block from number 52, Mike Webster, swept into the end zone for the first score of the game. It was a typical Steeler drive, consuming nearly 6 minutes of the first quarter, and it gave Pittsburgh a 7-0 lead. Behind by 7, New England was forced to punt on their next series, but got the first break of the game when confusion by the Steelers' two deep men caused a turnover. New England had the ball on the Pittsburgh 26 because number 35, Jack Delaplane, was suddenly called off the ball by number 33, Frenchie Fuqua, who dropped it. It was the first gift of the game, but by no means the last that would be handed to the Patriots. The Pittsburgh defense, as they would throughout the first half, refused to give ground, and the Patriots could merely translate their big break into 3 points on John Smith's 42-yard field goal. The score now stood 7-3. What works once will work again. Pittsburgh, on their next series, gave the ball right back when Franco Harris, this time, was a victim of the bouncing football. Without question, the steady downpour was making it extremely difficult to handle the football. But this was little consolation to Harris as he picked himself off the soaked tartan turf. New England had the ball on the Pittsburgh 44 and quickly took further advantage when Grogan completed only his second pass of the day, this one to tight end Russ Francis. But again, the steel curtain descended, and the Patriots again settled for a field goal from John Smith, this time from the 30-yard line. With 3 seconds left in the quarter, Pittsburgh's lead was now cut to a single point. In the second quarter, the football follies continued when Bobby Walden, in attempting to divest himself of the ball in an acceptable manner, dropped the wet pigskin. It was the third consecutive Pittsburgh fumble, but instead of resulting in a Patriot score as the others had done, New England gave it right back on the very next play. Don Calhoun's bobble bounced right into the hands of Jack Lambert, and the lean linebacker brought it all the way back to the New England 22. Pittsburgh stalled here, and Roy Girella added 3 more points to give his team some breathing room, 10-6. On New England's next series, the Pittsburgh front four sacked Grogan for the first time, but the play was negated by a penalty. Pittsburgh's defense stopped the Patriots on this series, but would never get to Grogan for the rest of the day. On their second play of the next offensive series, Bradshaw fumbled the snap, and the Patriots had another excellent opportunity on the Steeler 23. No matter. 2 plays later, Grogan's pass for Russ Francis was high and deflected to Glenn Edwards for an interception. Another good opportunity down the drain, but the comedy of errors was hardly over. Unbelievably, Bradshaw gave the ball right back when it slipped out of his hand on an attempted pass. This time, New England recovered on the Pittsburgh 7, where it seemed they could hardly fail to capitalize on the Steelers' generosity. But fail they did when Steve Grogan threw into a crowd in the end zone and Mel Blount came up with the ball. The surreal comedy that was happening couldn't go on, or could it? For after getting the ball, Rocky Bleier, going around his right end, lost the ball, and New England recovered their 5th fumble. New England themselves had coughed the ball up a total of 3 times and appeared to do so again on the very next play when Sam Cunningham lost it. But the fumble was out of bounds, and the Patriots were able to get on the board again when Grogan hit on 2 straight passes to Francis and Cunningham that brought the ball down close to the Pittsburgh goal line. Here, sure-footed John Smith kicked his 3rd field goal of the half, and the Patriots cut the lead to 1 point again. Pittsburgh's talented but intimidated receiver, Lynn Swann, had returned to the lineup today, but had not been heard from. Now, with 13 seconds remaining in the half, Bradshaw pushed the Lynn Swann touchdown button. Like everything else so far in the first half, it misfired. Roy Girella salvaged the series for the Steelers, putting them back in front by 4 points at the half. But what a half it had been. With a ball as sleek and as slick as Mel Blount's bald pate, the Patriots and Steelers had fumbled 9 times and dropped passes too numerous to mention. After 30 minutes of football foolishness, the surest hands in Three Rivers Stadium today were part of the halftime show. Despite his first half drop in the end zone, no wide receiver in pro football commands more respect than Lynn Swann. Early in period 3, Swann added the latest in a 3-year series of superb pass receptions. Swann is a smallish 180-pounder with a rebounder's instinct for the football. He made this catch despite better-than-average coverage from Patriot cornerman Bob Howard. Swan's 47-yard grab carried to the Patriot 11. 2 plays later, Franco Harris powered it home. The Steelers had covered 74 yards in less than 3 minutes. And now, with an 11-point lead and one of football's most respected defenses to protect that lead, Pittsburgh appeared on the verge of snuffing out the young Patriots. But the New Englanders seemed anything but intimidated. Steve Grogan to Russ Francis for 38 yards and a touchdown. And suddenly the vaunted Steeler defense seemed slightly less awesome. A repeat shows that Grogan sent Stingley in motion, then play fake to his right, drawing Steelers with him and allowing Francis to drift into wide open spaces. Francis registered 6 receptions on the day, but this one came at a time when the Steeler defense was threatening to put the game away. The Steelers never quite did recover. On their ensuing possession, the Patriots once again converted a critical ball possession play. And once again, the man involved was tight end Russ Francis. Many say the second-year receiver already deserves All-Pro recognition, but even All-Pros occasionally reveal their mortal nature. Francis dropped this sure first-down pass, but through Francis' misadventure, Grogan discovered he could work effectively against Pittsburgh's left side, and on third down, he did. In retrospect, A.J. Johnson's third down catch takes on great significance, for on the very next play, Grogan once again caught the steel curtain off balance. Rarely does a team beat the Steelers' secondary with a long pass, and yet within a 3-minute span, second-year quarterback Steve Grogan had done so twice. A replay shows just how simple it was. Grogan set up behind solid pass protection, then lofted a perfect rainbow over Steeler cornerman Mel Blount, number 47. Stingley's speed did the rest. 58 yards later, the Patriots had a 23-20 lead. And having overcome an 11-point Steeler advantage, suddenly the Patriots' upset over Miami looked much more believable. The Patriot defense hardly ranks with pro football's better-known groups. But with a 3-point lead to protect, New England's 3-4 dug in and turned the lights out on Pittsburgh's big gun. It's been said, as Franco Harris goes, so go the Steelers. Unfortunately for Pittsburgh, Franco wasn't going. But on the Patriots side, Steve Grogan and Russ Francis continued their relentless assault. Francis' 48-yard catch and run carried to the Pittsburgh 21. Forever keeping the Steelers off balance, Grogan realigned no less than 4 potential pass receivers prior to this snap, as New England closed in for the kill. Darryl Stingley's clutch reception carried to the Steelers 6. A replay shows Grogan's keen concentration in waiting for Stingley to break into the clear, then putting the ball on the money. The Patriot offense now controlled the tempo of the game, and as Period 3 passed into Period 4, Grogan converted New England's enviable field position into the game's biggest touchdown. The yards get tougher inside the 10, but as the replay suggests, a rollout quarterback has all the advantages. Grogan's touchdown lifted New England into a 10-point lead, and the Steelers were stunned. Their proud defense had surrendered 21 points in just over 10 minutes. And with their offense stymied, Pittsburgh's situation appeared rather bleak. With a 10-point lead, the Patriot offense turned to ball control. Chuck Fairbanks' crew indeed had dominated the second half. And throughout period 4, Grogan and the offense continued to pick up vital first downs. Despite their fourth period success, however, New England couldn't get close enough to score. But Steve Grogan's time-consuming play calling and tactics continued to gnaw away at the clock, a situation the Steeler defense didn't appreciate very much. But Pittsburgh's offensive possessions remained fruitless. Battling the rain and a 10-point deficit, Terry Bradshaw couldn't sustain a drive and couldn't escape from an aroused New England pass rush. But following a Steeler punt, the Patriot offense made a mistake it could not afford to make. Ernie Holmes' recovery breathed new life into a dying Steeler effort. With time to redeem his offense, Terry Bradshaw made the best of it. Though still plagued by indecision, Bradshaw summoned the resolve to peg Rocky Blyer for 10 big yards. Deep in Patriot territory, Bradshaw continued to put the rain-soaked football in the air. And with less than 3 minutes to play, his persistence put the Steelers back in the game. Tight end Randy Grossman's 7th catch brought the Steelers to within 3. And with a 2-minute warning approaching, the burden now fell upon the steel curtain. Though somewhat shell-shocked, Pittsburgh's defense managed one solid 3-down series. Ernie Holmes' bruising hit forced the Patriot punt, and the Steeler offense took over on downs at their own 20. But once again, Terry Bradshaw flirted with disaster. Now facing a 2nd and 29 situation at his own 1-yard line, Terry Bradshaw called upon his clutch receiver for one gigantic offensive play. Three plays later, battling time and a seemingly impossible 4th and 25, Bradshaw threw his finest pass of the afternoon. But the catch by Frank Lewis was to be Pittsburgh's last miracle. With 3 ticks left in the game, the outcome hinged on Roy Girella's 48-yard field goal attempt. Pittsburgh's stirring comeback sailed 3 feet wide of fulfillment. For the defending Super Bowl champions, it was a lesson in humility. But for the young and eager New England Patriots, it was a satisfying and important win. Many football watchers wrote off New England's victory over Miami as a fluke, but it wasn't. The Patriots are a good young football team with an abundance of ripening talent. Today, they dealt the defending Super Bowl champions a decisive defeat. And indeed, Chuck Fairbanks' squad appears on the verge of contention in the rugged AFC East.